feeling like I'm academics.
We're now hearing that Diddy's mom, I know, relax, Janice Combs, has issued a statement to Local 10 News. So apparently, she has issued a statement to Channel 10 News saying Janice Smalls Combs, the mother of Sean Combs, through her undersigned counselor on behalf of the Combs family, releases this statement. I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged, not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be a public lynching of my son before he's had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put in words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side, and to prove his innocence. I'm not here to portray my son as perfect because he is not. He has made mistakes in the past, as well we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with his ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance footage showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one a part of the story, especially when the truth is outside of the norm and too complicated to be believed. This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend lawsuit instead of contesting it until its end, resulting in a ricochet effect, and the federal government used this decision against my son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. It is important to recognize that none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongly convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them, not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what society considers to be a good person. History has showed us how individuals can be wrongfully convicted due to their past actions or mistakes. Watching the world make jokes of my son. Watching the world make jokes and laugh at my son's life crumbling before our eyes is something I could never forget. It is truly agonizing to watch the world turn against my son so quickly and easily over lies and misconceptions without ever hearing his side or affording him the opportunity to present his side. These lies thrown at him are motivated by those seeking a financial gain and not justice. These individuals saw how quickly my son's legal team settled his ex-girlfriend lawsuit, so they believe they can quickly receive a payday by falsely accusing my son. False allegations of sexual assault thwart true victims of sexual violence from getting their justice they deserve. To make matters worse, the federal government is now using these lies to prosecute my son. This injustice has been unbearable for our family. The worst part of this ordeal is watching my beloved son be stripped of his dignity, not for what he did, but for what people chose to believe about him. I ask his supporters, fans, colleagues, friends, and the public to not judge him before you have had the chance to hear his side. I beg you to think about those who have been wrongfully persecuted, to remember that not everyone who has made mistakes in life deserve to have their entire existence judged by a single action or a few mistakes. My son is not a monster they have painted him out to be, and he deserves the chance to tell his side. I can only pray that I'm alive to see him speak his truth and be vindicated. Respectfully submitted on behalf of Janice Smalls Combs and the Combs family. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I think this is a proper statement by his mom. You know, while his sons party away their life seem sort of unbothered, even though we know they definitely are, his mom has addressed this, and the reason why I'm going to say it's a proper statement, by the way, we know a mom is going to say, I ain't know my son was a serial killer. He ain't never hurt nobody. They lying. Why they do that to my son? A mom is always going to defend the son. Why I think it's a good statement is that I think it tries to appeal to people's empathy while drawing out a mother's love, while not being in denial of certain things we do know about Diddy. It admits that, hey, he was caught on video assaulting Cassie. He was caught doing A, B, C, and D. There's allegations, and hey, are you going to say he never did any of these things? And she's saying, no, I'm not saying he never did any of these things. And I said he made mistakes. He's probably done things wrong. But it doesn't mean that everything they're accusing him of, he did. And I think that's as good or the best we could probably get from a statement from the mom and the family. Basically by saying, hey, he's not perfect. He ain't did everything right. But it's very, they're piling on at this point. And she did try to make a difference by saying a lot of this is coming from the civil suits. And they just want a money grab. His allegations that were federally picked up aren't all of these things. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is the best a mom could do. Unfortunately, I don't think that this will fall on sympathetic ears. Unfortunately, the mountain of allegations and even the shrapnel of proof that we've seen doesn't allow people the grace to say, nah, let's wait for his side. So unfortunately for Miss Janice Combs, your son is going to get persecuted in the court of public opinion. But if he is innocent to what you're saying and in your belief, hopefully he doesn't get persecuted if he's innocent in the actual court. Now, obviously, the court of public opinion could sway the court because there's going to be, eventually, if they go to trial, a jury of his own peers, 12 individuals who are going to sit in that box, and they're going to vote. Is he guilty or is he not guilty of these current three counts, 3 felony counts that have him facing life in prison? But I listen, let me tell you this, man. If it was only the Cassie thing, I'd probably be like, man, hold on, man. We probably should. But, bro, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too much for us to say, oh, y'all need to shut the fuck up and not speak about this guy in a manner of judging him. It's not 1. It's not 2. It's not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are dozens. Right? So once you get to that point, it's like, what could you say? Right? If these are false allegations, they will be proven. Now, them getting a jury of his own peers, maybe that becomes a little bit tough because now everybody's seen that he's a monster, he's a monster, he's a monster. It's tough, man. Unfortunately, I feel like his son kind of did a lot of this to himself. Miss Janice, I would say this to you. A lot of times, even when we talk about some of these rappers or some of these kids who are running around doing dumb shit, the mom never really knows what they're into. Never know that they're robbing banks in the daytime. Never know that they're doing B&Es, they're stealing cars, they're shooting at niggas, they're beefing with people. They just get to show up on Say Cheese TV like, what my son did? My son was an angel. He ain't never did nothing like that. I grew him up right. I grew him up in the church. So what I would submit to Miss Janice is that one of the reasons why no one is given the benefit of the doubt, apart from the fact that there are dozens of allegations, and again, it's more than 1, more than 2, more than 3, more than 4, more than 5, it's a lot. The biggest indictment is that his peers have opted not to speak out or defend him. How could a man who has entertained this industry for over 30 years with parties, with all these things that supposedly, if not criminal in nature, has brought joy, priceless moments, excitement. He's helped people, giving them opportunities. He's given, or he should have given opportunities, careers, saved people's lives in terms of monetarily, financially. How come not one of them want to speak out for him? How come not one of them want to speak about their experience with him? How come not one of them want to say, hey, listen, I know they are saying a lot about this man, but I was around that man a lot in the 90s, and I never seen none of that. This is what I saw. I saw a man that was gracious, a man that would give the shirt off his back to somebody who needed it, or someone who would run into a burning building and save a child. How come none of his peers are saying what they saying is cap? How come it feels like his peers, employees, and former associates, that everyone is now coming out to say, especially since he's been incarcerated, I ain't gonna lie, that shit kind of true. That's the reason why people are quick to judgment. And then, again, the court of public opinion, people don't feel like they need to wait till they get to court because his peers don't even want to defend him. No one want to be associated with him. So, again, hopefully that doesn't have any effect on the criminal case, because everybody should be judged by the actual facts, not by a narrative bred on social media or within the sphere of the town conversation. But until he gets to that point where he gets his day in court, I don't think you could ask more of people to sit there and dismiss allegation after allegation when there's so many. And again, even if people believe these, the only thing they're saying is, oh, fuck this guy. They're not the people who are making him stay in jail. That's the legal part of it. So, unfortunately, to Miss Janice Combs, I think this letter should be sent to his peers. He sent you Ciroc for 10 years. He made you a Ciroc boy. You were getting $4,500 a month from this guy for 8 years being a Ciroc boy. He partied with you. He invited you to Star Island. You slept there. You stayed in one of his rooms for 3 months. What about you speak about to his character? Why don't you speak? So if you're gonna leave it to the people like me, I never met Diddy. I never had no conversation with him. And if I did have a conversation with him, and if I did have met him, if I was around him, I would try to speak to his character, even if it was only in the capacity that I knew him. But these niggas won't speak to shit he's done. They are running for the hills like it's almost like catching a bunch of motherfuckers' hands in the cookie jar. And for that, you can't tell people to just wait and hold their judgment. They're going to be like, yo, where all these niggas that used to be chilling with him at? Everybody silent? Yeah, something's fishy around this bitch. Something don't look good. And then we got some videos that shows you doing some shit that shows it don't look good. That's not good. All right. Okay, people. Chat. I'm about to call it. We're at 7 hours. I did tell you rock out with me for the next 6, and you guys clearly have. I don't even know who is still on this bitch with me, but I do appreciate y'all. I sincerely apologize for missing. I think we've missed 2 days or 3 days of streaming so far. I had said 4 for the whole month, so bad. I'll be back on tomorrow. Let y'all watch the 8 o'clock game in peace. Loki, I'm about to go to a. Never mind, don't worry about it. But yeah, chat. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll definitely be back on tomorrow. Whatever topics we did not get to today, please email me. Please hit me up any way you can. Did I read donations? I probably did not. Give me 1 second. But if I didn't cover a topic today that I should have, please reach out to me to make sure I do. Okay? Hold on. Computer is acting a little